So it's finally happened! I am now an annual pass holder for Disneyland Paris. Today I'm going to take you through step by step on just how to buy an annual pass via the Disneyland Paris website, and also let you know why I've decided now is the right time for me to buy the annual pass when it previously hasn't been, and the type of people that would benefit from an annual pass, and for the people that it would not be a good purchase for. So stick to the end of the video so you can find out those reasons. So purchasing the annual pass online was actually very simple, but there are some things that make it a bit more seamless and speed the process up, so I will let you know what those are during the step by step. So if you decide to buy an annual pass, you'll know the best way to do it. My name is Sophie from Most Magical Guides, and I make videos all about how to plan your ultimate trips to Disneyland Paris and Disney World, packed full of helpful tips and advice, and I also do vlogs of my own solo and adult trips to Disney. So if you like that type of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. So let's dive right into the step by step of how to buy your annual pass via the Disneyland Paris website. So the first step is obviously to go to the Disneyland Paris website. Now, to purchase the annual pass online, you do need to access the French website, but luckily this is very simple. On the home page, you just go to the top and you find the little flag and you change that to the French flag, and that will direct you to the French website. Or you can also change the web address to fr-fr, and that will also take you to the web address. Now that you are on the French Disneyland Paris website, of course everything will be written in French, but luckily these days most browsers have a feature where they can translate the page for you. So simply do this and everything will be in English, and it'll be super easy for you to buy your annual pass. I logged into the Disneyland Paris website once I got onto it, just so that it was a bit quicker for me, because I already had an account set up for previous trips and I knew that was the email address that I wanted to link to my new annual pass. So if you already have an account, you can absolutely do that now to save a bit of time later on, but you can actually log into your account or set up an account later in the process if you'd prefer that. So the first thing you're going to do is go to the menu and hover over tickets and stays, and then click annual pass. This will take you to the annual pass page where you can see the different tiers and the benefits for each tier. This is going to be the vital page where you work out which annual pass is right for you. Each tier has a different price, it also has different benefits, different blackout dates, so depending on how you're going to visit Disneyland Paris will help you decide which annual pass would be the right fit for you. Now, once you've decided which annual pass you would like, at the top of the page there's a little button that says buy. You now click on that and that will start the purchasing process. The first page that you come to will once again break down the different types of annual passes, the benefits, and most importantly, the prices. Next up, you are going to select whether you would like to have the pass sent to your home or to have a temporary pass. If you have a trip to Disneyland Paris booked and it is coming up soon, you might want to do the temporary pass. What will happen is you'll be sent a temporary pass, you then take that to the office at Disneyland Paris and switch that out for your actual pass. I instead decided to have the pass sent to me as that was the easiest option for me. Next up, you can choose the way you want to pay. You can either pay in 11 monthly installments or pay all at once. Now, this is one of the places where a top tip is going to come in handy for you. If you can, definitely do the pay all at once option. If you do the pay in installments option, you have to send a lot more paperwork and it really slows down the process because they have to set up a direct debit for you. You also have to have certain requirements on your bank account, and it is a much longer process. So if you were looking for something speedy and easy and not going to take loads of time up, you'd have to send loads of paperwork, then pay all at once if you can. I did the pay all at once option just because I did not want the hassle and the stress of thinking about, is my bank account okay? What paperwork do I need to send? How long is that all going to take? So pay all at once was just the easiest option for me, and I'm very glad I went for that one. Next up, you select how many annual passes you are purchasing. You can of course purchase multiple ones at a time for both adults and children. So this is a super handy option that you don't have to go through this process multiple times. You can buy multiple annual passes in one session. Next comes the all important part where you select what type of annual pass you would like to get. Once again, you are shown the different tiers and the different benefits, so you can have that final check to see which one is the correct one for you. I went for the Magic Plus, which is the third tier, and I went for this for the benefit of having the extra magic hours. The blackout dates weren't such a problem for me. I probably could have gone for the lower tier, and the benefits were kind of similar, but I really want to be able to have that extra magic hour bonus because I think that's such a benefit, and I love the option of being able to still do extra magic hours even if I stay off site, so it was definitely worth the extra money for me. Once you have clicked which annual pass that you would like to buy, on the next page you will then just have a summary of what you were purchasing. Sometimes you will find during the process that the page will translate back into French. All you have to do is go back to your browser, click that translate button, and it will go back into English for you. The next page is where you add in all of your personal details. Here you need to add your email address, your telephone number, your home address, and the name you want on your annual pass. I like to take this section quite slow and also check it multiple times to make sure that everything is spelt correctly, because it's very difficult to make changes once it's gone through. So just take a little bit of time, double, triple check, and you'll be all sorted. If you have selected for your annual pass to be sent to you, they also have a little bit of information here about the time frame to expect. They say it could take up to around a month, and of course, depending on what's happening with the post in your area, it might take a little bit longer. But for me, mine arrived in just a few days. It was super, super quick. I purchased my annual pass on a Tuesday, and by the weekend it had already arrived, which I was so impressed with. It was so much faster than I was expecting. But of course, this might not always be the case, so if you are wanting to use your annual pass on a trip that is coming up and you're going to have it sent to you, make sure you give it at least a month, maybe a bit longer, to make sure it's definitely with you in time. This page also has further details about the steps you need to take before your annual pass can be processed, and that's going to be a really important feature in the next couple of pages, so we'll come back to that. After this, you have another page which summarises all of your order, and of course it also has a terms and conditions part which you can read, and then you have to click to consent before you can carry on with your purchase. Next up is the payment section, and it's time for another top tip. Here you will be able to select a range of different credit card providers, but the option you really should go for is PayPal. Because you are purchasing via a French website, what sometimes happens is your credit card company will automatically decline the payment because they think it could be fraudulent because it's happening from another country. This can really slow down the process, and sometimes you have to phone your bank to get them to approve it, and it's just a lot of hassle. If you use PayPal, you can bypass all of this. You can still use the credit card or the bank account you were going to use, but just using the PayPal website bypasses this extra hurdle, and you will be able to buy it straight away instead of all of the hassle that could come along with trying to buy it with a credit card itself. So if you do decide to use PayPal like I did, you will then be directed to the PayPal website so you can select the credit card or bank account that you want to use and carry on with your purchase. As soon as that has gone through, you get your thank you for your purchase screen, which is the most exciting part because you have now bought your annual pass for Disneyland Paris. On this page, you will also see a little button which is really important, which is finalise my file. They will not be able to process your application until you have done this, so this is a super important thing to do, and if you can do it straight away, I would, but you do have up to 10 working days to complete this step. To finalise your file, you need to add your date of birth, your address, your email address, and upload a passport style photo. They do on their website put the requirements up for the photo. If you don't actually have a passport style photo, you can just take one at home against a blank background, which is really useful to know. Luckily for me, I had recently had to have a new passport, so I did have a digital photo of my new passport photo that I could use for my annual pass. I think one of the reasons that you have the 10 days to finalise your file is so that you can get this photograph if you don't have one to hand, but hopefully now, having seen this video, knowing that you'll need one, you'll either have one from your own passport photo experience when buying a passport, or you could just take one at home and you'll have it ready to go when you actually buy your annual pass yourself. This section is another one where you have to really carefully check all your spellings and things like that, because once it's submitted you cannot make any changes. So I triple checked and then clicked save. Once you've done that, you are all done. You now have bought your annual pass, you've sent all of the information that they need, and they will start processing it for you. Very quickly, I did receive some emails. These were proof of purchase. So you do get an order number, but this is not your annual pass number. So you can't instantly start booking things or going onto the annual pass holder portal, but you do have the order number, and you do also have a little code. So if you needed to go and check the status of your order, or you needed to fill in these details to finalise personalise your file, you can do that via the information they send you. As I said, for me, it was very, very quick to get my annual pass, only a few days. And as soon as I had that, I could then log into the pass holder portal because I had my long number and I also had the start date for my annual pass, which are the two things you need to log into your annual pass portal. So as you can see, it was actually a very simple process. There are a few steps to take, but there's nothing really dramatic. You don't need to put a lot of effort in, and it was really quick and simple. So I very much enjoyed that. I'm very much looking forward to using my annual pass and all of the benefits, particularly off of the restaurants and the merchandise. As we all know, I love to spend a lot on these things when I'm at Disneyland Paris. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the annual pass had not been something I'd previously purchased before because it actually hadn't ever worked out for me. And there are a lot of people that the annual pass is not worth the money for. And I did do a video all about this. So if you want to see some of the reasons why an annual pass is not a good purchase for you, I will put the link up here and in the description down below. But the reason that I got the annual pass this time is because I have a few trips coming up with a friend who had booked our Disney hotel rooms with his annual pass. Because of this, you don't get park tickets included, and if I purchased the park tickets themselves, it would have actually been more expensive than buying an annual pass. So this was the perfect time to take the dive and get the annual pass. Now these trips are very exciting and we will be doing an announcement soon with all of the details about that, but I think you're gonna love seeing these trips. I'm very, very excited. We have 2 trips coming up, so I can't wait to share these details with you. I would say the annual pass is great for people who go regularly. If you visit more than 5 or 6 days a year and you stay off-site and you have to buy your tickets, it will actually be cheaper to buy an annual pass. If you visit and you stay in a Disneyland Paris hotel, depending on the time of year you visit and the rates you're paying, it may not actually be cheaper to buy the annual pass. That's one of the reasons I haven't bought it up until now. I tend to go in the off season and get really cheap deals, and when I stay in a Disneyland Paris hotel, because my park tickets are already included, when I've got a really good rate, it wouldn't make sense to then buy the annual pass and stay off site and have a little bit more inconvenience when it comes to distance to the park, things like that. But something that I have really enjoyed is being able to talk to my friend Peter all about the annual pass and his experience of it. He's been able to get really incredible deals for us for these upcoming trips, and that is definitely a big bonus of having an annual pass. But I would say it's not always the case. Sometimes the annual pass rooms that are set aside for annual pass holders may sell out, and then because of that you end up paying more than the website price, which would include your tickets in the room rate, which is insane. So you're paying more even though you're not paying for the tickets. Who knows how that works? So I would definitely say be sure to check out my video all about the reasons why I didn't have an annual pass to find out if it would actually be worthwhile for you, because there are some pitfalls that make it not a great thing for everyone. But with these upcoming trips and needing to buy tickets, the annual pass was well worth it. It was over £100 cheaper than buying my tickets outright, so this was the perfect time, and the fact that I'm also going to get discounts off of the food and merchandise is perfect. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it has helped you see how easy it is to purchase the annual pass and some of the pros and cons of buying the annual pass. If you'd like to know more about how to plan trips to Disneyland Paris, make sure you look at my playlist that I'll put at the end screen of this video. But until next time, I hope you have a most magical day. Bye bye.